importance of technology has come into sport and what role technology played before, or how was the sport before technology? How has it changed in the last 15 years? And what is the future that you see?
If you're good to people, you don't need to be a good engineer. If you're a nice man, if you know a good engineer, he will do the job for you. But that's about it.
Best technology that is used in cricket today?
I would say the best technology in all forms. I think what people would want to see is probably 400 frames per second. I think frames per second has really changed.
Hope all of you had a wonderful 2 days of engineering and technology, and it's some time for us to unwind and probably enjoy some of the things that all of us are passionate about. How many of you are cricket buff? I'm wondering how many are not raising their hands and why. Because cricket is almost like a second religion in our country, right? I think we are very passionate about the sport. And I can tell you that every alternate person is a coach, is a mentor. He tells how to play the ball, how they should have hit for a six and not for a boundary. And I'm sure it's a very tough sport to play in India, right? I think there are very few get a chance to represent the country. And who else could have been better than Javagal Srinath amongst us, and to share some of his insights of sport and what he has done in his career. And interestingly, he had a lot of transition in his career. By the way, he connects with all of us because he is also an engineer, right? I hope all of you know that he's an engineer. And he's also a tech enthusiast. And he's also played for the country with a lot of ethics, and I'm sure all of you understand for the time period that he played why I'm saying what I'm saying. And he kind of set very high standard, and he's probably one of the least controversial sports person from this country. I'm sure all of us have heard a lot of controversies over the last, especially between late 90s and early 2000s. There is a lot of things that were really around the sport. So with that, is it better? Sorry. With that, I'll get started off with the first question: where to get the tickets for finals?
If India comes to the finals, nobody would pick up your phone calls. If it doesn't, then plenty of tickets available for 1.5 lakh people to come and watch the match.
I'm sure we are all waiting for a moment to arrive after 12 years, right? So the next question: who do you think is likely to win this World Cup?
Look, I'm a match referee. I should not be deciding who should be winning or who should be losing. I need to just keep a tab on all the players about their conduct, whether they're behaving in the right manner, are they following the rules, regulations, are they abusing very less amongst the players, between them. This is my job. I cannot say that, A should win or B should win. But, by the end of the day, I'm an Indian. So you know the answer.
So we'll wait for another 4 weeks to know who's going to be the champion. I think everybody in this room must be eagerly waiting for this moment. Yeah. I'm sure this time the history would be created in Ahmedabad, and everybody would be hoping more than billion plus people cheering for India to win. With that, I'll just start looking at few things that I wanted to really go through, and we'll have some rapid fire, and we also wanted to have some questions for the audience, and we have some special surprise gift for some interesting questions as well. And you can ask many questions that you can put to Stumps Srinath. We'll get better gifts for you as well. So with that, I'll start with something on technology. And before I go there, I just want to start with this question: which one was more difficult for you? Decision from umpiring when you traveled overseas, or the pitches?
Pitches in India was a problem for me personally. Pitches abroad was good, but generally, for you to acclimatize to the pitch abroad used to take some time. And by the time initially I'm a slow learner sometimes. By the time you get acclimatized, the series would be over. So this is the dilemma that I faced, but I think I managed somehow between India and abroad. Eventually, I started liking to bowl on Indian pitches. That was the thing. Umpiring, yes, but that's the reason, you see, why we push technology to come into the front, and now more or less what you see is 99.9% accurate decisions. I mean, you watch DRS technology, the ball tracking and all of it. I think it's all been tested, validated by many universities abroad and even in India. So those technologies are all good and valid. So if I had played now, I would have probably got another 250 wickets.
That's a big statement, right? Somebody who has taken 550 plus wickets.
In swinger, you would have hit the pads many times. You would have got at least half of it. Kapil would have got less.
So true. I think just another follow-up question on this, Srinath. I think you were talking about how the importance of technology has come into sport and what role technology played before, or how was the sport before technology? How has it changed in the last 15 years? And what is the future that you see role of technology in sport?
This will be a long answer. I made my debut in Sharjah 1991, and those days the television was, the cameras were of, very low specs. Whatever that we saw was from a distance. So the umpire gave a decision, whether we didn't know whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision, we just have to walk, and it was accepted. I think frames per second, the frame rates changed, this game completely. We got slow motions, got better and better. As technology improved, the kind of software that is used, there is something called EVS, that's the real-time slow motion, what is being used every day, which you don't even know. Every ball, when you're watching television, what you do is you wait for the slow motion to come, the replays to come. With it, it has become such a pattern even in our mind that you take away the slow motions, this game is not interesting anymore. So even when you watch this operas in the evening, Saas, Bahuki, whatever it is, even there the slow motions have played a huge role. So, correct? So what happened was we were completely stumped. I mean, during our upcoming years, I'm talking about up until 96, 97, we could not have a feedback. There was no feedback mechanism. The only feedback mechanism was those VHS tapes. But that really didn't help us. It was laborious. I mean, that kind of, you go fast forward your bowling stop, watch that particular ball. It used to be so time consuming that you would lose interest in it. And then, we were compelled to look for technology, and I was fortunate. When I did my engineering, when I studied in JC, first 2 years in Hassan MCE. I'm sure if there is somebody from Hassan here, or there you go. Then I did the last 2 years in Mysore. So, I get at least I'm exaggerating, 8 to 9 alumni invitations. So that many years you must add, you see. I had so many batches. So my engineering was very deep for almost... So what happens is that, if you're good to people, you don't need to be a good engineer. If you're a nice man, if you know a good engineer, he will do the job for you. But that's about it. So I had few good people around me and my classmates, of course. We grew up together. And there was a company in Bangalore called Global Phoenix Solutions, which used to do the back-end work for Phoenix insurance company in America. So that was a proper blend of software and multimedia. So I went and I approached them with all my friends put together, saying that, look, we need to have a non-linear axis, a random axis of pictures. And that was just about coming. And, we speak about product, how important products are and how we need to develop more and more products. Those days, it was Pentium machines. And then we found a company called Shonk, which used to, do these dabbas. So we approached them, and then, a few engineers. I mean, it was absolutely, innovation and creation. So they got together. They set up this machine first, and then C++ was such a huge thing to know. I mean, we used to go find somebody in TCS and get them across to come and help us out. and we started to, put this system together. There was a company called Optibase in Israel, and they were the only guys to do, analog to digital conversion, because those days even transmission was analog. So we had to get, did a lot of research. Google was not this speed. I mean, you got some information, but it was not at the fingertips. So we got those Optibase and got stuck in the customs. We had to go use my cricketing password to get those from the customs. Anyway, so we finally got a box which made more sense to us. Now, a bowler starts bowling, so you start the video, and then the batsman plays a stroke, it goes to a 4, he gets bowled, whatever. So, what you see now, the analyst, he will key in a lot of attributes like outside the off stump, the batsman, whether he was comfortable, what happened to that particular ball, and all these 6 to 7 attributes was added to that particular picture, and it was stored in the database. Now, you probably in a ODI match, what is going on now, you will have 100 overs, which is 600 balls plus some wides and no balls. So 620 balls was tagged and stored in the database. Now, those days, Oracle 8i was the database. It was so slow. All of this, we had to, but then that was the only thing available, and that was like marvelous thing for all of us. Wow, I mean, this is the best we could have. And then, we had a retrieval screen, and the same thing happens now. I mean, you call for the pictures, whatever you want. If you want Virat's down the leg side shots, you can call those shots. You want, Bumrah's just, where he's pitched down the leg side for his corrections. Now, this is how technology made a huge difference for us. Team meetings became more meaningful, more purposeful. Just bashing the youngsters stopped immediately, because even the seniors got bashed, got hit all over the place. I think it happens in the corporates as well. The seniors get away and juniors get bombarded. This was the one which really brought, and that was the time, when we were in the mix of this match fixing and all those things. So some of us had to really stand up and then bring some transparency. Now, how do we do this? We need to have this analysis tool to help us out. So all these things started falling in place. So that's where technology is, and the same concept is still now applicable. But now you don't have to have all those things. I think a small box will do the job for you. Things have changed. Laptop, so it was not a laptop then. It was more of a big box which used to carry. It used to become blue. We used to have a fan behind it because it used to get heated up. All those drama. So, and first of all, to convince our own players to use technology was not easy. I mean, I have seen Sachin was very reluctant to start. He was like, oh, ये क्या सिखा देगा मेरे को यार, इसमें क्या है? I mean, what is computer to tell me what to do? But slowly we were able to, explain to them whenever they didn't do well, how they did well in the previous games, and then compare to his footwork now in this game. I think when we put the split screen and showed them, how you are moving then and now, I think this, probably the feedback was instantaneous for them to understand, well, something is going wrong. Same with the bowlers. So that's how technology doesn't tell you what to do, but I think it gives you quick access. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I'm sending ice to Eskimos here. I mean, what technology did in sport was have quick access to your own information. I think that's where I think made a huge difference. The same concept even now continues. I mean, you can, now, you're looking at, a lot of people have shown me some AI and all of it. But beyond a point, too much of technology, too much of knowledge, I think brain cannot comprehend. I think there is a limitation to understand this. Probably in the future, you don't need an analyst. You just have to, get this, you have the machine learning up and running and AI together, and you can just plug in. The pattern recognition can understand who the bowler is by the contour or by the action, and probably follow the ball. It can understand where the pitch is, and those things can be done in the future. It is not necessary. Let's employ people. I mean, by the so that will be the next stage, probably. I would say, by the end of the day, at any stage, these machines will never dictate things to us. I think that human element is so important for all of us. The gut feeling, they say the sentience value. I mean, that a machine can never express it, that little emotions. What is his body looking like today? What's his body language? What's his emotions? Is he going through a few turmoils in life? Is he able to deliver today? But the data says, oh, he's the one. But in reality, you know him. So whether he's able to deliver. So I think by the end of the day, I think, we will be the masters at all times and never the slave. So this is what I believe the technology should always be in the, where we need to know how to use the technology. But when people say, oh, this is going to overtake us, this is going to decide whether you need to send Dhoni or we need to send Virat, that's not going to happen. I think that gut feeling will always prevail over that.
Yeah, no, thanks, Srinath. Very interesting to hear. And a couple of other questions. I was also told that you're most annoyed when somebody asks you saying that you are the vegetarian who actually bowled at 157 plus kilometer per hour.
I mean,
the only vegetarian which bowled at so fast.
I changed my diet in between. But the tag is still good. I feel good about it. And it took a long, because of the culture that I have come from, the background, the house atmosphere. It was not easy. Even today, I tell my mother that I have never, ever eaten anything apart from rice and sambar. So, I mean, that's the way to manage, I believe. But, I was told at some stage that animal tissue is important. And the problem was that, if say, for example, wicketkeeper is standing, Kiran More or somebody else during my days or Nayan Mongia, if the ball goes one bounce, अरे यार ये तो कुछ खाता नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं करता, ये देखो इसका बॉल ही नहीं पहुंच रहा इधर. So I used to make a joke, अभी देखो भाई कल से शुरू किया बॉल अभी भी नहीं पहुंच रहा, कभी क्या करें? So, used to have that little banter, that was good. But I don't know, I mean, I am in a fix in terms of, what to eat, what not to eat. There are a lot of proteins available, but somehow the other animal protein has been promoted quite heavily, especially for the sports people. Nowadays you have those bok dabbas, all those white powders, and I don't know, I don't believe in all those things, but hum to nikal diya ji, 13 years of cricket.
But you also mentioned that you can't bowl more than 160, 162. Do you want to explain the logic for this?
Yeah, I think, why pace is more to do with the body action. Now, big bodies doesn't produce pace, doesn't generate pace. You need to have you need to have a wiry body. You need to have that, that little strong and but less mass on your body. So going by the logic of what people say that, we are thin and we are not big, in that case, all the WWF people should become the good fast bowlers. That doesn't happen. I mean, that's not the way. It is your quick arm rotation, the way your body bends at the right time. All of it kind of culminates for you to deliver the ball. So it's it's a strange science on its own. I mean, normally nobody would have that kind of a practice in any walk of life.
And you also feel biomechanics has the limitation of...
Yes, biomechanics, I think human body has a lot of limitations. I mean, the best, how fast can you rotate your arm? That could be, I would say maximum 160 is what you can reach, the pace. You can't go beyond 160. That is my limitation. I don't know, unless otherwise you have somebody like Usain Bolt coming from nowhere to play cricket, and he can probably change all the barriers of life. That I'm not too sure. But at the moment, what I have seen is that the limitation is that for the 22 yards, I think 160 is what somebody can really, but cannot be consistent. I would say 140 to 145 is where you land on average. But 160 is, you will probably have one purple patch in your life when you're really quick and all of it. I think the more quick you bowl, obviously there will be a time you want to increase your pace by another couple of kilometers, and that's where we probably test our bodies and break the bodies too.
Should probably I'll leave it for a few questions from the audience. Yes. Can you pass on the mic?
I'm Kaladhar. Sir, we are privileged to have it here. And I'm a great fan of you and Kapil. I don't want to lie. So one question for you.
I'm a big fan of Kapil Dev too. Yes, we fought in the same, space to get the wickets.
Yeah, true.
That is different. I mean, that's what I tell people. I know I was a big fan of Kapil Dev when I was young.
Yeah.
And then slowly I started playing alongside with him.
Okay.
And 2 years' time, we had differences in our own ways to try to get a wicket.
Okay.
And then we had our ups and downs together.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, take me away from my fanness towards him or my adulation towards him. I think he's always a great cricketer and he's a fantastic man, yeah.
So nice, sir. So nice. So question for you is, let us say any batsman hitting left and right of your balls, 4 and 6s.
Gee.
We know the external feeling, but we want to know the internal feeling today.
External feeling, we get to hear as soon as we get on from the airport, from the taxi driver standing outside. That we don't know. You see, cricket is just not a batsman will keep on scoring runs or the bowler will keep on getting wickets. I think this game is so beautifully balanced that, you have to give runs. You have to have your bad days. You have to have your lean patches. You need to have your good form every now and then.
Yeah.
So this is full package of cricket. I think just like your profession, I think you can't have good things happening all the time.
So we don't want political answers, sir. We want straightforward answer. So
No, we'll limit
polished
it.
answers anyway.
We'll limit it to only one question, please. We have a lot of hands raised.
We get agitated inside, we get agitated, we get disappointed. I think that is again part of life. वो politics नहीं है जी वो. That is also part of life. You should be disappointed, you should be despondent. Then only you can think about how do I come out of it.
Sir,
Can somebody pass on the mic on this side too?
can I?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, during 1996, there was a victory which was bagged. It was a thrilling victory with your partnership with Kumble. So it was really kind of, amidst of very different scenario, you bagged that victory along with your partnership. So can you actually explain or just a few words about that experience?
And also with the parental pressure of them staying in the ground as well, right? And
that was
the television
Anil's-
camera showed more of their mothers and more than their...
It was Anil's mother. My mother never came to the stadium to watch the match. She was always at home. Anil's mother was there to watch the match. It was one of those good games. There was a lot of responsibility. We are playing in front of the home crowd, so we got to deliver. Things went well for us. Of course, we were talking in between to say, look, somehow or the other, we got to win this match. And it was an important match for us to qualify to the finals of the Titan Cup. So all those things happened, and those days, my reflexes was also good. I could pull and cut and all of it. Bowlers, I was able to face the fast bowlers. Slowly, they broke my hand 6 times. Then all those protocols between, a subtle way of understanding between the fast bowlers went for a toss, and now we started breaking their arms too. So now that's where this, the gentleman game has become very competitive now. So it was one of those good games, and I think one good thing is half the stadium went away only to miss out on those matches, I believe.
I think it was a 9th wicket partnership of some 53 runs or so
I
with
think
you
it
and
was a
Anil.
9, yes, correct, that's right. Then 8 wicket up, I think.
Yeah, Javagal.
Sorry,
good
we'll
afternoon.
have a quick rapid fire and
Yeah.
then we'll come back for a few questions.
When you got the wake-up call to represent India, and how much time did it take for you to the information to sink in? That you're going to represent the country and share the other side along with Kapil Dev.
Well, this was a game in Faridabad. We were playing rest of India versus Haryana, and Kapil was playing on the opposite side for Haryana. And, I fortunately got 7 wickets in that match, and that was basically a selection for the Australian tour, impending Australian tour. So that 7 wickets gave me confidence that I would probably be picked. I would have been very disappointed if I was not picked. But anyway, I was, lucky to be picked. G.R. Vishwanath was the selector, but he was sent home. And then Venkatragun took over on that particular match. So, but that really didn't make a difference. Even Venkatragun was a nice man. Selectors should be good.
Coming back to, sorry, I'll come back for the questions.
One last
here.
question.
No, I'll come back. Some of the rapid fire questions, Srinath, you can
Yes.
answer it quickly in 10 seconds. Best batsman of your era?
From the Indian side, I would say Sachin Tendulkar.
Outside?
But outside, I would say Brian Lara. I think he was probably, in our times, he was the best.
And tough batsman to bowl?
When you have a lean patch, it is tough to bowl to anybody.
Best memories of your playing career?
Beating Pakistan in all the 4 World Cups, that was probably the best thing to happen.
I think this deserves even bigger applause for the match tomorrow. And best technology that is used in cricket today?
I would say the best technology in all forms. I think what people would want to see is probably 400 frames per second. I think frames per second has really changed. I mean, you can correct yourself. The game is really, I mean, for the viewers, I think that's a wonderful visual to watch great slow motions. You know, when you compress and when you have the slow motion, I think it gives you more details. So if you see somebody walking just like that, you will not be able to make out much. But if somebody walks in a slow motion for almost, 2 seconds expanded to 10 seconds, you will get to see more. Similarly, while batting or bowling, the small errors that we have is seen in this technology. So I think frames per second has really changed our lives without our own knowledge. That is number one. I think number two is the training methods these days. The way people train, the heart rate monitors, the watches that we wear. In sport, even if it is a group of people training together, everybody wears the same gear and everybody's heart rate is monitored. Who is giving the best effort? What is your, efficiency level? At what level you give your best? All of it, I think, that's probably the new, what do you call the biomedical devices that we use today. I think that's probably the next best innovation that I have seen. Ball tracking and all is fine because there is still a prediction element. So it's not, people might say it is not absolute, but in my opinion it is. Umpires making 5 mistakes in a match. Now, I can promise you people that if you watch the match without technology, you will lose trust in the game. That is for sure. That's for sure. You will, unless otherwise, you have these kind of technology showing and validating those decisions. Okay, because umpiring is so difficult. I mean, I deal with them almost every day. Human capabilities fail beyond a point. Say, for example, those little nicks, impossible. Even the batsman wouldn't know sometimes. Okay, and then you will see a faint nick. So, you are now there at that point where you have eliminated almost all the errors. But still it is a technology. You might probably see out of 100, you would probably see maybe 1 or half mistakes here and there. And that too human-induced more.
Sorry, last question.
Yeah.
Gossip that you enjoyed the most?
About others, not from mine. Oh, I enjoy gossips about others, just like anybody else. It is fine. As long as you, participate limitedly, it's fine. But if you know somebody, if it is on Venki or Anil, I would really enjoy, I would really make it. Or Rahul, maybe, yes.
And 2 last questions before we wrap up, please. Sorry, yeah.
Hello. Hi. Very good afternoon, sir. My name is Manoj Singh. I am from Access CAD Limited from Mumbai. My question, I'm not surprised people have asked you a question from cricket domain, but I would like you to take you little, during your engineering college days.
Yes.
So nowadays we hear this term in technology, things like ChatGPT, generative design, AI, drones. So during your engineering days, during your college days, what was the buzzwords that you used to hear in your group or your professor?
Fortran, Pascal. We passed those exams, even those software are not even installed in the computer. We passed those exams. We had one subject called computer control systems. Okay, this was in the 7th semester. Now, I did my thing in instrumentation technology. Now, that book, what we had was, one good thing about that book was it was only 140 pages or 150 pages. That's it. There were, all those feedbacks and all of this, how instrumentation is, and they were in German. That was not even converted to English. We wrote the same thing.
Sorry, last question here.
I think there is a lady asking. I think we need to listen to the ladies as well now. It's time to be equal on everyone here.
So myself, Neelam. It's honor to see you actually. So I have heard a lot about you from my father. So I just want to ask, like my father told you started your career as a batsman. So is that true?
Not really. I think I was more of a bowler who wanted to bat as well. Who wanted to bat as well. Yeah, I was, bit of both. But then, as I said, 5, 6 fractures. Then I had to start thinking, why am I here for bowling or for batting? Every fracture kept me away for 3 months. I said, hell with the batting. Let me just stick to the bowling. Just throw the bat. The gentleman there, somebody else? Is it?
Yeah, sorry. I think we'll make it as the last question. Sorry.
So, sir, for last 5, 6 years, there's been a lot of talk about the spirit of the game. And as was mancading, that happened with the Rajasthan Royals match, then 2019 World Cup final also. There was a lot of talk that what's the spirit of game? As a ICC match referee, you would be the best to answer this. According to you, what's the spirit of cricket game as such?
Okay, now what happens, it'll take 2 minutes to answer this question. This is important. So let me tell you what exactly the spirit of the game means. When this game was invented in England long time back, it was supposed to be a lead sport. It was supposed to be, this information was given to me by the umpire David Shepherd, who passed away, who was one of the best umpires and a top-class gentleman. And he was telling me how this game evolved. What happened was, when these gentlemen played on the field, if the ball hit the legs, pads, or he was caught behind, he would walk out. Okay? He would not stay there. Slowly what happened, that is why it was called gentleman's game. You believe that you're out and you walk, and nobody appealed. They just bowled and they just stood. And you walked, well and good, then they clapped it in, that's gentleman. Now that is where the spirit of the game came into existence. I mean, a batsman, if he ran and, he didn't really touch the crease, he would volunteer and say, no, I didn't touch the crease this time. So this was spirit of the game. Anything, somebody took the catch, was it off the ground? No. If he's in doubt, no, please, batsman, you stay. So there were no umpires. What happened slowly? The competition, more and more people played. Then the competition became an integral part. Then the batsman stood. He didn't walk. So one side showed the spirit, the other didn't. So the other side also started the same thing. And then they said, all right, this is too much, let's get the umpires. Now, what is this umpiring when you see the match? This is an important information for you people. The boundary 4 is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's how it is. But now people do this, and that's a style. Now, what is a sixer? Beyond the lines. That's a sixer. Now, the most important thing is out. Pointing finger at you means don't point fingers at me. That was it. That is it. You are out. So it's a humiliation if you are given out. The whole town used to sit and talk in the evenings. This is a typical pub culture in England where they sit and have a drink. He was given out. He was pointed finger at and said, you're out. So that is how. But all those things are gone now. Nobody walks, nobody there. Now it is the spirit of accuracy. You need the best decisions out for so that is why technology has been, incorporated quite a bit into the sport now. So understand so now it's the spirit of competitiveness, it's the spirit of accurate decision. So we believe in this. And the spirits, of course, everybody likes spirits.
Yes. Last 2 questions. Mind game versus skills.
Both, I would say, mind games, stronger in the mind. It is not a game, but I think sports psychology is the most or the least, or probably the most ignored part of Indian sport, because we don't have a sporting culture. So we kind of miss that psychology and all of it, which probably our times, we were ignorant towards it. But now, It is very much in the forefront. Everybody is using sports psychology. I think it is just not sport. I think in any walk of life, what is sports psychology by the end of the day? You got to go sit in front of somebody to speak about our weaknesses, about what things that you could not do and what you want to do. I think we keep our ego too much in the front and we don't ask people. A good friend can be a good psychologist. I mean, I really look for mentors even today in life. I mean, if there is somebody who can really guide me in the right way, I would be more than happy to go and, surrender myself in the right way. So psychologists are extremely important in everybody's life. I mean, we all go through various things in life as well. So seeking a psychologist is probably the best thing that could do, and sport is no exception.
Fascinating. And last question, an advice for the youngsters or children of most of them here to choose a career in sport. Happy to see that India has won 100 plus
I can't
medals.
advise you people here, but I can advise, you all have kids. I'm sure who would be interested in various things to do, but all I would say from the sporting point of view is that help them in the right way. Rejection is a very integral part of our lives. You get rejected in the exams. We used to get rejected in the games. You don't get picked sometimes. You don't be part of the teams. You don't, even though you do well, you don't get picked. But to kind of counsel the kid in such a way that without blaming the system, but to work even harder and to believe in your ability is something. I think we as parents should be able to identify that talent in the kid. And when the parents come to me, when I was the secretary of Karnataka State Cricket Association and I was looking after the academy, they said, oh, well, I think your coach is not teaching you well. I think nobody needs to teach anybody. Cricket is a cognitive thing. You watch, you learn. You watch the television, you watch people playing on the ground, and you learn. Coaches guide them. But I think the moral insights about what is right and what is wrong, without blaming the system, the moment you blame the system in front of your kid, the kids get bailed out. And that is an easy excuse route for the kids not to really work hard. Never blame the system, but we have words, we have ways to convince the kid that it is your own improvement which is important. I think we, the parents, can be a little harsh to the kids, not the outsiders. If you are harsh to the kids in a nice way, in a subtle way, the outsiders cannot be, because the kids will know how to handle the outsiders. This is what I feel, and this is what I believe in, and this is what I tell my people.
And a big round of applause for Javagal Srinath for being with us today.
For more content on tech and leadership, subscribe to NASSCOM YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.